is Valley News Live at 4.
Good afternoon, everyone. A scary situation for parents and students at a Fargo elementary school. A student brought a loaded handgun to Lincoln Elementary School this morning. Principal Megan Kaiser said the student told their class that they brought the gun to school. A teacher found the gun and confiscated it. The school was put into a lockdown and the gun was turned over to Fargo police. No threats were made, but the student has been suspended while the investigation continues. As the holiday season is upon us, worries about the latest coronavirus variant are mounting. Naomi Ruckham has more on why the new variant is raising concerns.
As more countries report cases of the new coronavirus variant Omicron, there are concerns about whether it's more contagious and virulent than the Delta variant.
This thing has mutated like crazy. There's at least 30 mutations in the spike protein. This is like way more than any other variant.
Those mutations could make it easier for the virus to infect the cells.
Well,
Dr. Robert Murphy is an infectious disease specialist at Northwestern Medicine.
If you look at the data, it does look like it's most likely transmitting easier than Delta. We don't know if it's really any worse as far as disease progression or death or hospitalization. So it may be very similar to what we saw with Delta, but all this really has to play out, and it's going to take us probably at least 1 to 2 weeks.
Another concern, how effective current vaccines will be against the new variant, which is now being studied.
It's most likely that the current vaccines do offer some kind of protection.
How many more of these variants could there be in our future?
It's going to be endless until everybody's vaccinated.
Experts agree a worldwide vaccination effort is critical to stop this pandemic because the longer it goes on, the more likely the virus can mutate. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News, New York.
President Biden says the new variant is a cause for concern, but not a cause for panic. Today's the first day of travel restrictions in the United States, keeping non-U.S. citizens from entering the country from South Africa and 7 other nations. But the variant has spread well beyond South Africa, reaching at least 14 countries, including our neighbor to the north, Canada. Top health officials spent Thanksgiving weekend coordinating with South African scientists to learn just how dangerous the new variant may be.
Things that we don't know right now is whether the people who do get infected have a severer form of the disease or whether it's a light disease or somewhat the same as Delta.
Vaccine manufacturers say it'll take about 2 weeks to learn whether or not their drugs work against Omicron. Stocks started the trading day with the beginnings of a recovery from steep sell-offs during Friday's abbreviated session. Investors spooked by the new variant stepped out of the market Friday, leading to the Dow's worst day in more than a year. Those fears appear to be abating as the index picked up 375 points to increase 1.1% at this morning's bell. Nathan joins us now with a first look at your forecast. Nathan?
Yeah, thanks, Stacy. Happy Monday, everyone. Look at these peak temperatures from today so far. 44 degrees in Fargo, 46 Valley City, 50 for that high temperature in Jamestown. Our friends in Gwinner reported 52 degrees the high temperature there. Most everybody was above freezing for this afternoon. That's the good news. It felt nice out there with some sunshine this afternoon as well. Now, of course, we are turning our attention already to the weekend because we've got a parade this weekend, folks. And so I want to give you an early look ahead of what you could expect if you're stepping out to that parade there in downtown Fargo-Moorhead. For Saturday, that parade, of course, in the evening, we will see increasing clouds on Saturday and some late light snow on Saturday. It looks like it'll be probably after the parade winds down Saturday, but some of those could continue into Sunday morning as well on a breezy weekend. But take a look at those temperatures there by the afternoon. Saturday's high temperature 20s for those highs. So I'm expecting 20s for those air temperatures for us by the time we get to that parade time on Saturday. Look at this. We got some clear sky, plenty of sunshine, a few clouds moving into our western neighborhoods, maybe a few showers north of Minot. But by and large, Stacy, things are staying quiet for us tonight, but I'm tracking some shower chances tomorrow, both snow and rain. So we'll talk about that coming up here in a few minutes.
So we're going to be extra bundled up at that parade.
You got it.
All right. Thanks, Nathan. New for you now at 4, the two 16-year-olds accused of killing their Spanish teacher in Iowa have pleaded not guilty. Both teens filed written arraignments today. Jeremy Goodall and Willard Miller are each charged with the death of Nahima Graber. Last week, the two teens appeared in court to ask for their bonds to be lowered so they can be released from jail before trial. Right now, their bonds are at $1 million each, but their attorneys want it lowered to $100,000. Loved ones reported Graber missing on November 3rd. Police found her body later that day in a park near Fairfield High School. A motive is not yet clear. Jury selection starts tomorrow in the case of a former Brooklyn Center police officer charged with killing Dante Wright during a traffic stop. Kim Potter's reaction was caught on body camera video and seems to establish the key facts of the case, as she said she grabbed the wrong gun. But legal experts say a conviction isn't as certain as it may seem, at least on the most serious charge, which is manslaughter. Her defense attorney says she made an innocent mistake. The attorney for the Wright family called the trial, quote, an extraordinary step towards justice. A jury in the Ghislaine Maxwell sex abuse trial was selected this morning as prosecutors seek to prove that the British socialite recruited and groomed underage girls for Jeffrey Epstein to abuse. U.S. prosecutors have said that between 1994 and 2004, Maxwell gained the girls' trust by taking them to movies, sending them gifts, and discussing sexual topics. Maxwell has pleaded not guilty to 8 charges of sex trafficking and other crimes. She faces up to 80 years in prison if convicted on all counts. President Biden met with top business leaders this Cyber Monday, the busiest online shopping day of the year, to discuss ways to help ease supply chain backups and rising prices. Skylar Henry reports from Capitol Hill.
The president convened a roundtable of top retail executives at the White House as his administration tackles a major slowdown in the delivery of goods and supplies, coupled with inflation.
Consumer spending has recovered to where it was headed before the pandemic.
Last month, he laid out several steps to address the backlog, including expanded work hours at several major ports and warehouses, and billions of dollars for port upgrades.
And we've seen some progress in that effort, with a number of containers sitting on docks for more than 8 days, down by over 40% this month.
Our supply chain is strong and robust. And we have ample product inside of our stores.
The White House and congressional Democrats say the Build Back Better Act will help lower inflation, but Republicans who oppose the bill disagree.
I view this as a back-breaking bill for the country, with the kind of expenses, the spending, the adding to the debt, the inflation.
The president's agenda, the Democratic agenda, is going to lower costs for people across the country. That contrasts with what we're seeing from the other side, which is not a lot of ideas in the cupboard.
Senate Democratic leaders say they want to get the social spending measure to the president's desk by Christmas. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
President Biden is hitting the road to discuss the recently passed infrastructure package, and one of his stops will be in the Twin Cities. The president will be at DAKOTA County Technical College in Rosemount tomorrow afternoon, which has programs in place to train the next generation of workers, which will build, operate, and maintain many areas of infrastructure spelled out in the new plan. Air Force One is scheduled to land at Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport shortly before 1:30 p.m. The president will speak at 3:30. A study from Mayo Clinic has new findings about patients with post-COVID syndrome, frequently referred to as COVID long haulers. It's when people have lingering symptoms of COVID-19 for months, even more than a year after getting infected. The study says more women have it than men. The findings are from just the first 108 patients in Mayo's post-COVID care clinic, but it found 75% of people in the study with long COVID were women. Researchers say the high percentage could have something to do with the difference in immune response between the two genders. Lee Elder, a champion of racial justice who in 1975 became the first black man to compete in the Masters, has died at the age of 87. During his career, Elder won 4 events on the PGA Tour. In 2020, Augusta National announced it would celebrate Elder by adding him as an honorary starter. They've also established scholarships in his name at Payne College, a private, historically black college in Augusta. The White House is decked out with holiday cheer and ready for the Christmas season. First Lady Jill Biden chose the theme Gifts from the Heart for this year's display. It's inspired by people the President and First Lady met as they traveled the country over the past year. The official Christmas tree is an 18-foot tall Fraser fir. There are 41 Christmas trees on display throughout the White House this year, decorated with some 6,000 feet of ribbon, 10,000 ornaments, and nearly 79,000 lights. North Dakota's governor and first lady are inviting the public to join them for the annual Christmas tree lighting at the Capitol in Bismarck. That's happening next Monday, December 6th at 5:30 p.m. The theme of this year's Christmas tree is Share Your Story, inspired by the first lady's platform of encouraging people to share their experiences of how addiction and recovery has impacted their lives. That ceremony will also be live streamed on Facebook. Still to come, advice from the experts to avoid getting scammed while shopping online this Cyber Monday.
And temperatures for us, I do expect to stay fairly stable through the overnight with some decreasing clouds there by the midnight hour. And in Grand Forks, also expecting kind of the same story with stable temperatures. I'm tracking some changes though for tomorrow evening. And of course, I'll break down that forecast for you next.